Hello everyone. So in the previous class we have discussed about different types of pipe systems used in the sewerage system and their respective advantages and disadvantages and their usage at a particular place in the sewerage system. Okay. So now after knowing the pipe material, then there comes the part of execution or laying of the pipes. Okay, so in this class we shall discuss about the laying of the pipes along with some ventilation of sewers. Okay, see, these are various steps involved in the laying of the sewers. So the first step is setting out. Okay, so we have to set out the laying of the sewer based on the available drawings. Okay, then we will mark the center line on the ground based on which the excavation has to be made, deciding the width and the depth of the sewer. Okay, so then alignment and gradient. Okay, so this is very important for the setting up of the sewers. Okay, so because we have to exactly set the required alignment and gradient to maintain the velocities like self-cleansing and non-scoring velocities, which is to be maintained for proper functioning of the sewerage system. Okay, so then we have the third step called as excavation of the trenches, timbering and dewatering. Okay, so after excavation, okay, so based on the required depth and width, sometimes we may have to go for deeper excavation, maybe up to a depth of 1.5 or 2 meter, so depending upon the situation and the design. And in that case, so we have to protect the workers who are working in the area after excavation. Okay, so to prevent any such accidents due to the falling of the soil or due to the lowering of the soil into the excavated pit because of the looseness in the soil, so we will do something called as timbering. Okay, so we will see what is timbering and what are different types of timbering, and we shall also do the dewatering. Okay, so sometimes when we do the excavation and you may find the groundwater table very nearer, in that case, so we may have to also dewater in the excavated area. Okay, so next step is laying and jointing. Okay, so we have to lay the pipe. Okay, so based on by taking the invert levels and adjusting its alignment and gradient, and we have to join the pipes. Okay, so there are various types of joints, okay, like simplex joint, bituminous joints, then the joint by ring and coupling method. So based on the pipe material and the required joining procedures are adopted. Okay, then we have to test the sewer line after laying. Okay, so immediately before backfilling the soil, so we have to test for the alignment and test for any water leakages, because sometimes due to some human errors and because of some faulty construction, we may be having the problems of leakage in the sewerage system, which may again cause the exfiltration and infiltration issues. So to avoid that, so we will test for water tightness, and also we will test the sewers for any leakages, and we will also test for the alignment and straightness. Okay, so then we will do the backfilling. Okay, so these are the various steps of laying of the sewer. Okay, so this is the setting out method. Okay, so that means, so we will mark the center line here as shown in the diagram. Okay, so then this is called as offset line. So based on this we will take the measurements. Okay, and we will do the excavation. Okay, so usually the excavation is carried out starting from the tail end or the outfall end of the sewerage system. Okay, so for the reason being that if any new area or development happens, okay, so that can also be connected to the sewerage system, because if you start from a built up area, so So then you may be having some another area which may be coming up due to some industrialization or due to some growth, etc. So that's why it is always started from the tail end. The excavation works will started from the tail end and then it is connected to the sewerage system. Okay, so because after the period of the construction, if some new area comes up, then again they have to wait for the completion of the entire system. So for that reason, so this excavation work is usually carried from the tail end. Okay, that is starting from the outfall proceeding towards the upward region. Okay, so then alignment and grading. Okay, so this alignment and grading is usually done with the help of boning rod and sighting rails. Okay, so the invert levels means the bottom level of the sewers are obtained by adding suitable vertical length to invert levels marks on the L section. Okay, so these modified I'll show you the diagram maybe so that you will understand. So this is the invert level of the sewer. Okay, so we'll lay the sewer and we will take the invert level, and so this will be in a pit. Okay, so this is the trench and this is called as boning rod. So with the help of this boning rod we will have the cross head here. Okay, so the cross head is used to check the alignment. Okay, here whether it has properly led according to the design or not. Okay, and it is also made up of a cross head with T so that it can be easily seen, and this method is followed for the alignment and grading setting. Okay, so here the boning rod will move to and fro in the trench. Okay, so in this trench it will move, okay, along the length of the pipe. Okay, so that the side rail as well as boning rod has their center lines accurately marked with the seam socket and painted black and white for proper visibility. Okay, so it is usually painted with black and white for proper visibility. Okay, and this is carried for the proper alignment and straightness. Okay, so then comes the part of excavation. Okay, so excavation is usually carried out in open cutting. The width of the trench at or below the top of the sewer should be minimum necessary for its proper installation with due consideration to its bedding. Okay, so what is this statement means? When we have to do after doing the excavation, so sometimes if the soil is loose, then we may have to go for bedding for the sewers. Okay, so upon bedding this sewer will be let. So that should also be considered while maintaining the alignment and gradient. Okay, and also the width of the trench from the top of the sewer to the ground surface is primarily related to its effect upon the adjoining services and nearby surfaces. Okay, so this width has also be decided based on these parameters, that is any adjoining services. There sometimes you may have to plan in such a way that the much of the property lines of people and the commercial establishments should not be disturbed. So considering all these things, we will have to do the excavation. Okay, whereas however if you have the open area or undeveloped area, then excavation is made with side slopes so that the slopes are stable. Okay, so here we may have to do a straight and narrow excavation, that is with a straight line if the area is already developed. So if you have an open land, then we will make a slope cut like this so that it will give some stability to the slope. Okay, in many circumstances it is essential to restrict the top width of the stent, and hence the excavation has to be made with sides vertical. Okay, so this is done to avoid the mudslides and all. Okay, so here if the depth of the trench exceeds 1.5 to 2 meter and when the excavation is made with side vertical, it becomes necessary to support the side by sheeting and bracing. Okay, so this is what I was telling, means whenever you have to go deeper, usually at a depth of more than 1.5 to 2 meter, so then there is a risk of the mudslide and falling of the soil with the slopes may not be stable, and it may lead to some accidents, and also the slope will not be stable, so which will cause inconvenience for the laying of the sewers and also for the workers who are working. So in that case we will do a process called as timbering of the trench. Okay, so there are different types of timbering, so based on the type of the soil and the requirements and all. So there are different types of trenches which are the timbering of trenches, so which is listed here. That is, first one is called as T bracing, box sheeting. So third one, vertical sheeting, runner sheeting, and sheet piling. Okay, see, these are in general methods of timbering. This sheet piling and this thing is usually done for very large excavation for the laying of the outfalls and all. So this is called as a stay bracing. Okay, so this is an excavation position, and these laggings are provided with a strut. Okay, and this is how it looks in the plan. Okay, and this is one of the method of bracing. Okay, so after excavation we will do the bracing here. Okay, so this is called as box sheeting. Okay, so a box kind of structure is placed. Okay, and this vertical sheeting material is made. Okay, and here this method is adopted whenever we have to do the excavation of more than 4 meters. Okay, so obviously if you go deeper, then there is always a risk of falling of the soil from both the excavated regions. Okay, so under such circumstances we will provide the sheeting like this. You can see here vertical sheeting. Okay, so this can be done made up of sometimes wood, or nowadays we have the steel or alloy kind of sheeting material which is available. Okay, so this is called as strut, and this is called as wale. Okay, so which is provided for as a vertical support for this vertical sheeting, that is horizontal support provided for this vertical sheeting. So that is called as wale. Okay, and this perpendicular to this vertical sheeting, so this is called as strut. Okay, so this is called as vertical sheeting. Okay, so sometimes you may have to go very deeper for the laying of the sewers in soft grounds up to a 10 meter depth. Okay, so it is similar to the box sheeting, but whereas the work is carried out in stages. Okay, so because if you are going for a very deeper depth, then we may need more sheeting material and all. So that's why, so it is done in stages like this. Okay, vertical sheets, horizontal weights, and struts and bases are provided. It is similar to the last diagram. Okay, and offsets of 30 to 60 centimeter is provided at each stage for depth of 3 to 4 meter. Okay, so here you can see the offset which is provided. Okay, so this is the difference between the box sheeting and this vertical sheeting method. Okay, it is suitable working platform may be provided across the stress. Okay, since the depth is more, okay, around 10 meter, so for that reason a vertical working platform is also provided for supporting the workers. This arrangement is suitable for laying sewers and water pipes at considerable depths. Okay, so that is here it is shown here. So if the depth is more, then we will go for this kind of timbering. Okay, so then these runners, okay, so these are provided in extremely soft soil. Okay, so it is similar to vertical sheeting, except that in place of vertical sheeting these runners are also provided. Okay, so then it this is a kind of runner sheeting method. So this is sheet piling method. Okay, this is the practical diagram and a photograph which I have taken. Okay, so this is called as vertical. Here you can see the material is made up of mild steel, where the excavation is very large. Okay, so this is the sheet piling. Okay, and these are the struts which are provided. This is the vertical sheet, and this is the strut which is provided. Okay, this portion. Okay, and this is the connecting plate which is again supporting this strut. Okay, along with this vertical pipe material. As you can see, the excavated area is very large. Okay, so maybe for the tunneling works, or sometimes you may have to do a very deeper excavation, for example for construction of metro lanes and all underground. Okay, under that circumstances, and also if you want to lay a very large sewer, an outfall sewer, whenever the excavation area in terms of width and depth is very large, so then we will go for this type of piling. Okay, then we have to lay and join the pipes. So once this thing is properly maintained, alignment and gradient, so then we have to join the pipes. Okay, so for that we have to, the trench should be excavated up to a level equal to the bottom of embedding concrete. Okay, so whenever, like I told you, we can also go for bedding if the soil is hard, and if the soil is sufficiently takes the load and not much of settlement takes place. If the soil is hard and it is not much loose, then the sometimes bedding is not required. Okay, so based on the type of the soil we will decide the different types of bedding. Okay, so after laying, then we have to check the sievers. Okay, nowadays new technique is used. Okay, so it employs a laser beam generated at a manhole and directed toward the pipe as it is placed. Okay, that means after laying, the straightness and gradient, it has to be checked. So nowadays for checking that, so we have some laser instruments which is used to check its accuracy. Okay, so using this laser beam technique, we can have the accuracy of around 0.01% with a range of around 300 meters. Okay, and these are different types of bedding. Okay, so this is the sewer pipe and this is the excavated earth. Okay, so it is sometimes directly placed and sometimes we will provide the earth cushioning. Okay, so why the cushioning is provided is the question here. Sometimes when you lay the sewers, so at the places of joints and all, no, if some cushioning is not provided, then due to the brittleness, the joints may start to break, and also the pipe, it will cause some shear in the network of the pipes, so that it may lead to the leakages and all. Okay, so for that reason, some earth cushioning is provided. In case if the soil is loose, then we will provide the concrete bedding as shown in the figure, over which the pipe is laid. Okay, and this is caused as encased bedding. Okay, so if the soil is very loose, and if you have a very high overburden pressure, or in case of highways or due to heavy traffic movement, there are chances of more overburden pressure which may damage the underground pipelines, and if the depth of excavation is very less, under that circumstances we may have to go for this enclosed concrete bedding. Okay, and this you can see the class N type of bedding. Here it is provided. Okay, the depth is very less, and this is another kind of bedding which is provided here. Okay, and this is a pipe material. This is a different pipe. This is a CC cement concrete sewer, and this is a double wall corrugated type DWC type of pipe which is nowadays widely used. And this was what I was telling about the laser beam. Okay, so from this laser is emitted laser beam, and it is checked for the accuracy of alignment and the straightness or the gradient. Okay, so using the modern instrumentations available. Okay, and see, this is we have to just enter the grade. Okay, and a laser is attached here after the laying of the pipe. As you can see, the person at the other end, so they are working, and the laser we have to enter the grade, that is what is the gradient which is to be maintained, and that will give the accurate measurement, and based on which, so these people will lower a upper, and they will decide the gradient here by doing proper backfilling and all, and we will finish the job using this laser techniques, and also it will work very faster with a proper accurate results. Okay, then we also do some hydraulic testing, that is the test for leakage called as water test. So here in this test, so we will test the sewer for leakage and water tightness. Okay, here what we do is, in between the two manholes, okay, water is filled in one manhole, and in another manhole it is plugged. Okay, and to check for leakage and water tightness, an around head of 1.5 meter is maintained in the manhole and this sewer line, and a person is moved along the line of the sewer. Okay, so if there is any leakages, it can be easily detected and it can be replaced. If the joints are in bad shape or if there are any leakages in the joints, it is replaced and it is modified. If the sewer is having any leakage due to the construction or due to the improper handling, then it has to be replaced before backfilling. So this is done for the test for leakage and water tightness. Then we will do a test for straightness and alignment. Okay, so this is also important, that is whatever the sewers which we have laid, it should be perfectly straight. Okay, so for this what we do is we will use the principle of light. Okay, so as you all know, the light always travels in a straight path. Okay, in your high school classes and in your plus 2 classes, you might have studied various things about the properties of light, various things related to light and optics. Okay, so here we will use the same principle. If the sewer line is straight, okay, so what we do is we lit a lamp at one end of the sewer and at another end we will place a mirror. Okay, so since if the sewer is lit in a perfect straight line, the image will appear on the other side of the sewer. Okay, so if it is not a complete circle or if the image is not there, then there won't be any straight path. Okay, so then you can conclude that the sewer which we have lit is not straight. Okay, so this test is done for the test for the straightness. Okay, so of course this is a primitive method. Nowadays we have the laser instrument which we have discussed in the earlier slide. Okay, and also for the test for obstruction, so what we do is we will roll a ball of diameter which is less than 13 mm of the internal diameter of the sewer. Okay, and that is let inside from one end of the sewer. If there are any obstructions, then the ball will not roll out from the other end. Okay, it is a conclusion that there is some obstruction and which has to be removed, and that is how we will check the sewer for any obstruction. Then after that we had to backfill the trench. Here the trenches which are laid, it should be backfilled immediately, so as to cause it should not cause any delays for the traffic movement and for other works, okay, which is to be carried out further. And we have to do the proper type of bedding and immediately we have to backfill the trencher. And also we should not allow the water to raise in the unbackfilled trenches. Okay, if you allow the water and if there are any mortar joints or something which gets dissolved, and it will not be perfection in the work which you have carried out. So that's why we should not allow any water, and it will so that it will avoid some problems. Okay, and backfilling work should be carried out with proper care. Okay, especially whenever you are selecting a material around the sewer for the backfilling. So whatever the haunch bedding which you are providing for the sewer, so that the material selected should be of very fine in nature and should be free from brushes and small stones and all large rocks. It should not come in between, and the soil should be carefully placed in the layers of 15 centimeter, and it should be watered and evenly rammed, so that it gives the proper cushioning for the pipe which is laid. Okay, then after that, whenever the complete backfilling is made, so that should be taken care. If there is any topsoil or if any turf is coming up, or if there is any pavement which has to be laid over the soil, so accordingly it has to be properly rammed. Okay, and it should be maintained before the surface got till the surface has been got reinstated. Okay, and at each stage of backfilling, the soil should be properly rammed, consolidated. Okay, and it should be completely saturated with the soil. only then the further line should be continued, because if you do not properly ram and if you do not properly saturate, then again the soil whatever you have backfilled will settle along with the time. So that is the reason we should completely ram perfectly by completely saturating the soil with water, and then the work should be carried out for the further levels. Okay, and also we should take care that the water should not be flown in large quantities in the sewers which is already laid, because there are chances of flotation, or there are also some upliftments due to the flow in the sewers. Okay, and also when trenches are in the fields, the backfilling above the 600 mm level is not tamped, the earth is replaced, and we should allow the resulting mound to settle naturally. Okay, if there are any open lands, then so we can allow the settlement to take place naturally. Then we have the ventilation of sewers. Okay, so sewer ventilation is very important, because if there is no proper ventilation in the sewerage system, so it will lead to the emanating foul smelling gases from the sewerage system, and also due to the formation of sulfuric acid, it will cause corrosion, and sometimes due to the excessive generation of methane gas, it may also lead to the explosion. As you know, the sewers are laid underground. Due to the decomposing organic matter present in the wastewater, it will lead to the generation of methane and carbon dioxide along with H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide. So this H2S will combine with water to form the sulfuric acid, which is corrosive in nature, and also the methane, which may cause explosions if the excessive pressure builds up, and sometimes it will also cause, if you do not provide the proper ventilation, it will also cause air locks in the sewer, and it affects the flow of the sewage. And also these gases, okay, so which will cause asphyxiation of the persons who enter into the sewers during repair and maintenance. Like you might have heard many cases wherein a person who have entered the sewers for or during the manhole, whenever there is no proper ventilation, so many people have died due to the suffocation and asphyxiation inside the sewers. So that's why this ventilation is very important, and the sewerage system should be properly ventilated. Okay, what are different methods of ventilation? Okay, so first and foremost thing is we should lay the sewer line at proper gradient, and the sewer should be run at half full depth, so that the remaining portion there is some space for air circulation. Okay, and we have to provide manhole with gratings. Okay, at many places you might have seen that the manholes have the gratings above its cover. Okay, so that it provides some ventilation, and we should properly have the good house drainage system. In other words, we should maintain the proper plumbing in our houses, so that this ventilation can happen. Okay, to avoid the odor problems associated with the decomposing gases. And sometimes we have to provide the ventilating shafts or ventilating columns. Okay, so these are common. This ventilating column, something looks like this. Okay, so it is a long column, okay, laid along the length of the sewer, which is connected to the sewer at the bottom below the ground, and we'll have a cover, and this is the rust box which is provided, and these are located along the lines of the sewer, and it is having a cowl at the top with a wire gauge. Okay, and this serves as the purpose of ventilation. So it will allow the exchange of gases from the sewer, and the fresh air also enters, okay, through this ventilating column, and it will remove the odorous gases, and it will serve the purpose of ventilation. So it will allow the methane gas and other to escape from the sewerage system. Okay, and this can also be served as for providing the street lamps in this vertical columns. Okay, and it will serve the two purposes, one for ventilation of the sewers, and also we can provide the street lamps along the ventilating column. Okay, and we will stop at this stage. Okay, so we should properly lay the sewers with proper gradient, so that, and also we should maintain proper ventilation in case of sewerage system to work it effectively. Okay.